All right.
Excited?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're here with Dwarven Forges, the one, the only, the man, the prince,
The Prince.
Nate Taylor. How are you doing that? What are you
Prince
guys?
of creativity?
Sure. Coming live, or we're live. You probably will not.
This is a tradition at this point now. It's our third, fourth year. How many have we done this?
So we got third
Third year?
one.
Third annual.
Coming with
The
the very,
GenCon grilling.
the very best of your questions.
So what are the worst questions?
I filter nothing.
Okay.
You get the you get everything. So normally the format we like, we have past, present, future.
Love it.
So
Love
we're
it.
gonna hold on to that.
Okay.
Do you have any comments you would like to make before we get started?
Thanks everybody for their support and for your interest. Like we couldn't do this without you, and it's exciting to dive into some hard-hitting questions.
Great. All right. First up, with Perilous Frontier Sand incoming.
Oh, are we talking? Is this the future or is this the past?
This is the past.
Okay.
Why was the variant dungeon scheme not sandstone instead of sinister?
Because Sinister looks really cool.
It does look very cool. They have it
That was
here.
it.
It's amazing.
Okay.
Was there ever any thought to sandstone as a dungeon variant? Okay.
No, it's a good question. We did look when we were looking at the idea of doing a variant paint scheme. We kind of poked around in a lot of directions and did sort of veer towards the sandstone thing, but it just didn't. It felt too neutral still. Like the existing dungeon is pretty neutral by design, and sandstone similarly felt neutral. Even though it's different, it has its own attitude and whatever, but it just still felt like it was a very similar note to it, right? It was kind of beigey, and the existing dungeon was kind of beigey. So we ended up going just like pushing as far as we could, like with Sinister was trying to make it as different as possible, so it could really feel like you were bringing something different to your table.
Do you anticipate having a similar problem with Perilous Frontier Sand?
No.
No?
We have something really good cooking up for Perilous.
Okay. I assume we're gonna get cacti. And then
You could make many assumptions, but as they say,
And
you make
bones.
assumptions.
Bones and
you're an
cacti.
ass. Isn't that right? Isn't that the saying?
Something like that.
Yeah. But yeah, make some good guesses. We'll see what happens. You can make a bingo card. We'll see how many you get.
So there was a bit of, this may be controversial, there was a bit of hubbub about some of the Lowtown. And there was a bit of criticism.
Yep.
I guess you could call it like that.
We've had much criticism over the years.
Did this seem different than criticism that you've received in previous campaigns? Like, are you seeing sort of an evolution in your customer interaction?
No, I think fundamentally, all of our complaints tend to come from a place of passion, where people really, really, really care about our stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and they want it to be the best it can be, and often they want it to be the best for their table,
Sure.
right? Which might be different than other people's tables and whatnot. So, like, a lot of it is people tend to hyperfixate on the details, which is what we want, right? We're dropping in these details. We're making something. No,
That doesn't sound like me.
I know. It's a broad statement. However you want to. But I think it's a lot of our complaints stem from people being so into it and so fixated on it that there are sometimes people might make a mountain out of a molehill, and sometimes we might make our own mountains. And then they're like, well, maybe it's a little more of a molehill, and they give us a benefit of the doubt. But I think it generally comes from people loving the stuff, investing in the stuff, wanting it to be the best possible, and we can't always necessarily achieve everything. Nothing will be perfect. And even though we take an enormous amount of time in development, whatever, there's never enough time across the boards, from development through to production, through to QC, to whatever. Like you never really have as much time as you'd like, because then we would never deliver anything. So sometimes some things slip through the radar and whatever, and people are disappointed, rightfully, if it's not perfect, right? They want everything to be perfect, and they're paying premium prices, and have spent a long time waiting for it and whatnot. So I think it's sort of across the boards. It may be different things that people are hung up on, but it tends to come from the same place. And
Okay.
we understand that. We take it to heart. We do the best we can to make new mistakes rather than repeating the old mistakes. And we will continue to make mistakes. Right? We are we are not perfect, and this stuff is very open-ended, and there are often combinations that you didn't think of, and things that, and the more pieces we make, the more variants there are and things and whatever, so there's always going to be stuff that doesn't work perfectly, but luckily you guys bear with us, and we do our best to just keep improving.
Absolutely. So y'all are sort of on the far side of a pretty impressive gauntlet. Like you had Lowtown.
Who wrote these questions? This is great.
You had Lowtown. You had Dungeons Reforged. We're Heroes there. There was like four or five. Starforge, but all almost over top of each other.
Yeah.
And the question was, how much progress has the team made toward developing multiple campaigns in parallel?
I think we're doing a pretty good job with that. For instance, we have Cities Reforged is currently running, and the dev team is fully in Perilous right now, with the exception of Eli's Sculpting Bitter paths. We didn't think that we were going to. We didn't know how this campaign was going to be received. We didn't know if the climate of tariffs and everything were going to diminish people's excitement. We didn't know if, because it's kind of there's a base of this is older pieces. If that was going to be, we didn't know what was going to happen. So we didn't sculpt the dirt paths because we didn't know if we were going to what our trajectory was going to be. So aside from having to do that, which is a great place to be, everybody's fully in Perilous, and we have, because we cut a bunch of the stuff from the city's campaigns, we were once again a little concerned about what the future may hold and wanted to not bite off too many giant molds and pieces, whatever. We have a bunch of stuff in the bank.
Yeah.
For the second part of that. Plus, we have some Hightown stuff in the bank. We have I think we're farther ahead than we've ever been with dev in terms of having projects sort of queued up and ready to go, and kind of ideally we can kind of get them the next one in.
I think it was interesting. I was looking over some old footage from 3 years ago, I believe it was, and we were asking about Hightown, and so it's interesting how Hightown has just been there for almost the past half a decade.
Well, and we've been chopping it up, right? So a bunch of this greenery was originally going to be Hightown stuff. What else was in here that was going to be Hightown? Some of the stuff for the second, all the streets mentioned was going to be Hightown. That is sort of prepped and ready for the second season. So we've been kind of peeling out pieces of systems and stuff from Hightown and kind of divesting it because it was going to be too big. Also, we didn't want to go back into another location.
It's great because for everything that you bleed out beforehand, once Hightown actually hits, it's going to relieve pressure and give you more room to innovate some new things. Too.
Oh, great! So, scale creep can go back up.
I love it. Yeah,
everything
absolutely. Oh no,
you know us
this
too well.
This is no reprieve.
You're not wrong.
Plans for STLs not materializing.
It'll happen at some point. I don't know when. There's a lot of so fundamentally, 3D printers are getting better and better, and the market for STLs is getting bigger and bigger. Even though it's hypersaturated, it just continues to grow, and it is a really wonderful tool, particularly for doing things that wouldn't make sense to make a mold and do in Dwarven. One of the challenges is we really want, when you get a Dwarven Forge piece, we want to control the quality as much as possible.
Sure.
So the thing you're getting in hand, we know what that feels like, what it looks like, whatever. And one of the downsides with selling STLs is we have no control over what the quality of your print's going to be. So you could get this amazing Dwarven Forge piece, and you have to pay some money for it, whatever, and you print it out, and it looks crummy because you have a crummy printer, or it doesn't print correctly, and you don't realize
you have to dial in your settings right.
And then you drop it, it breaks. It's not Dwarvenite, and it's not painted, whatever. So one of the things that we hesitate is we don't want people to get a thing and then have it feel like it's crummy because of the in between from getting the STL to their end. What that process is sort of out of our hands. So that's one of the hesitations, and also it's just a new market for us. It's new stuff to explore, but it's inevitable that at some point we're gonna. We keep trying to sneak a few STL things into each campaign.
Definitely.
Just
Like
just
a
keeps,
companion.
it's like ruins. They keep getting cut out.
Yeah.
But
We'll stop doing that.
Little companion thing, right? A couple of
Yeah.
a couple of bits to print. That would be several.
Like something impractical to cast. In your
Yep. Yep. Yeah, or something you just need like one of that.
Any regrets for the non-magnetic Lowtown battle board? So, for example, I got the battle board.
Textured battle board.
Yeah, and like things slide all over it. Like nothing
Yeah.
stays put.
The problem is we can't do a texture and have have it be magnetic effectively because of the depth of the texture. It's like it's just going to bury the metal plate too far. So yeah, I would love to find the magic. Like there is a depth. If we only do a few millimeters of depth, we could theoretically have texture and a metal plate. But we haven't quite got to that sweet spot yet. So the regret is I wish it could do everything.
Because the last battle boards was it Wildlands with the sort of like your
The
terrain tray
yeah, the
fabric
neoprene
top.
fabric, yeah.
I enjoy them. They're
Yeah,
good.
yeah, they're great.
Valuable.
I use them all the time.
Are you guys? What's your?
Oh,
Hi.
hi. Oh, I think.
Hi. Starforged a success? Question mark.
Yes and no. So it wasn't a mega success in that we did, it didn't raise an astronomical amount of money, and it didn't radically expand our backer base, right? The hope more so was this is a chance to get a new audience and try and broaden our horizons.
Kind of failed to capture the Games Workshop.
Yeah, or sci-fi, people playing the Alien RPG or Traveler or Star Wars or whatever, it didn't. The hope was that it would be a hook to draw in a broad new audience that was excited to think, but it didn't really do that. But it made, I think it's our most versatile collection of pieces. It's probably the most fun to build with because of the 360 nature and the flow and things. And it was a really great chance to just sort of push our creative boundaries and just hit completely new notes, right? Just start from the ground up, right? There were no assumptions. Like having half-inch thick floors means everything lines up. No matter how you're turning this stuff, everything is now lining up. Like you put two floors sideways vertically between the thing where you get to your two. Like it's the geometry, like being able to start clean from the ground up with the geometry, being able to have a totally different style and texture and color and starting out being really refreshing for their creative process. Things like having the magnet be visible and part of the design.
Genius.
And the magnet, like all these fun little innovations. And thinking about things in 360 are really sort of helpful and healthy for our overall development. And the fun of it's just fun. So
Absolutely.
Fundamentally, we're going to do some more at some point, and maybe have to sort of think about different ways to try and measure the success of it or not. But I think we made the amount of money it did raise. The ratio of money to number of pieces is actually really good.
Oh, that's
right. It was only 24 pieces or something. So
Regrettably.
it's like, yeah. Well, we were trying to do the bare minimum.
Yeah.
Right? We didn't know if anybody was going to show up.
Well, I mean, a bit more than that because you had the stairs and the pipes and the walkways and like there was a
24 was
lot
our
of
original. Yeah. Our original aim was 24. Maybe it ended up.
And you get that with the 360 pieces because every piece is almost like six different pieces, depending on how or where you position it.
Yeah. So it was certainly a creative success, and we'll see. It goes in the web store at the time of this recording in about 3.5 weeks from the time of this recording.
Okay.
So we'll see if there's a sort of a second surge, and people that have. I'm hoping that people that got some and have played with it are like, oh, I need some more, or people are just getting more pipelines.
Or the folks who see it
See it now.
at GenCon.
Yeah.
You can actually see what it can do.
Yeah.
So.
But it is fun. We want to do more.
Okay, the GF promotion of Luna's Argent Workshop and their Dwarven campaign, as far as being compatible with Dwarven Forge. I found it very interesting. Care to elaborate on that?
What do you think? Interesting in that?
Well, it seems like they're literally doing what you do. I mean, you could consider them a direct competitor. competitor?
They're a small creator. Like they're not competing at the scale. Like there's plenty of space. There's plenty of space in terrain for everybody to create, and fundamentally, promoting other companies I don't think is going to generally take away from, like, people aren't going to just suddenly leave Dwarven Forge and never come back. So once again, what they're making is different. It's different materials, it's different whatever, and they're offering stuff that we don't offer that's complementary. And also, just you got to support the smaller creators who are trying. And they've been working hard for years, right? They've been going for a decade or something. Just chipping away, trying to make some really cool stuff. Probably not making very much of a profit in any of this. Like, doing it with passion. So it's important to support those guys, the board games guys out here. Lots of really Galadoria games. Right? A lot of really great people making some wonderful terrain and space. And there's plenty of room to help try and lift them up. We don't need to come after anybody.
Nice. What cool tiles were left on the city's Reforged chopping block?
Streets.
Streets?
There's some really cool street stuff. Toby was really bummed because he sculpted a lot of surface area streets, and none of it's in here. Michelle did a really cool piece. There will be a glimpse. So,
Well, they'll come to light eventually, right?
yeah, but you'll see in the Creating Cities Encounters video, which has not gone live yet as of this recording. But there's a couple of. If you look closely at the night market build, the second build, there will be there's really one very obvious piece in the middle, and there's a couple of smaller modular pieces in the back that you can look out for. A taste of
we love
things to
we
come.
love
Yeah.
what are they called? Egg.
Easter eggs.
Easter eggs.
Yes.
That's it.
there were some city trees that we sculpted in there, and if we may bring those in here if we go astronomically far. I don't know how far this campaign's going to go. The Tudor villages, so we'll see. But those are kind of waiting in the wings after Herd has, like, if we've got some momentum, that would make sense to put them in there because it'd be great. We want to get those trees out. They're awesome.
Definitely.
Too
Never
large
have.
and small, like
Too
they're
large a
really cool.
variety of foliage, especially.
Yeah, and you haven't seen Eli did a really bonkers one. We saw one of them. We teased in one of the shots, and there's another one that you haven't seen that's really cool.
Is that the night market that you were talking about?
These trees you won't see those there. There's a couple street things in the night market.
Oh.
But that's in the it's Creating Cities Encounters is there. But the trees we'll see. Those were in a couple of early promo images before we split. And I don't know, we'll see. If not, they'll go in the next one or whatever. But we got some nice stuff too up there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, that will conclude the past
Alright.
questions that I have.
All right. I like that the past also kind of bled into the future and the present too. So
Funny how it does that. Being in the past.
It's now in the past. So, all right. What do we have in the present?
We don't have much in the present. So, how will tariff wars affect DF's restocking strategy going forward?
These are the big questions, right? And I have no idea. I will tell you that right now, the tariffs are really. It's been the biggest challenge we've been facing. The volatility, right? So there is, as a small company with limited working capital, it's very hard to make plans when you don't know what the future's going to be.
Sure.
It's sort of just all over the place, and the goalposts keep moving, and the deadline shifts.
You
And
need
there's whatever.
predictability.
And there's no discernible strategy or methodology, or like it's just we really don't know what to prepare. So it definitely is negatively impacting. I mean, this restock, where we had to delay the Starforged store release because we had to hold that stuff for 3 months till the tariffs dropped from it. We couldn't ship it when it was at 145%. We couldn't ship that. That was like possible. So that got delayed by like 3 months, and we still had to pay the 30% on it, which is a killer. So it means we're raising the prices more than we'd like to. We're having to raise our store prices, and then that stuff's not going until August 26th. So that's like 2 or 3 months later than it should be. Our July restock is now, I think, happening that same weekend, so that's a month and a half behind. And then we don't know. We haven't even we haven't ordered our next restock yet because we're sort of.
I think that's what people are trying to get at is when.
I don't know. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do the city's reforged order, and then we'll see. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But basically it is going to slow down our incoming stock for sure because the volatility is really hard, and we can get in a really, if we overextend ourselves and things shoot up like crazy, like we can get into a lot of trouble. So we have to play very conservative right now, which is a real bummer. But the place we are not being so conservative is by doing these crowdfunding campaigns. At least we have that gives us like a year lead time. So it's like, okay, we'll probably do a more aggressive order with Cities Reforged and see what that, because that's about a year, so we'll see what happens. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We're just kind of holding our breath and hoping things can level out a little bit. It's really like, it's tough.
So with restocking being a bit more of a rarity going forward, any thoughts to increasing the functionality of the wish list on the web store?
Ooh, what kind of functionality were you dreaming of?
For me in particular, the one thing I've always wanted to see is sort of like a counter of how many other people have wish listed the thing that you want.
So for
So
the
that way
Hunger
you can-
Games thing, you know how
Yeah,
many...
yeah, so you can kind of battalion together and be like, hey guys, we are so close to 1,000 wish list entries. We just need a couple more guys to come on board, and then that will really, it's sort of like that threshold, almost like a stretch goal type mindset.
And or if there's something that's coming out in a reserve release and you see you and only one other person are doing it, there's there's gonna be 6 in the reserve release. Oh yeah, I'll probably be able to get that. Maybe I go for something else first and
That would be fascinating for us and
Yeah.
hypothetically useful for you as far as market analysis.
Yeah, no, it's really interesting to see the people's buying habits because very often their buying habits do not necessarily align with what they say. Like for instance, I know somebody was very excited about a window panes pack in Tudor Villages.
Yeah.
How many did you put in your pledge?
I put 2, and let me tell you the reason why.
I heard you were going to put 20. I don't know. You're off by an order of magnitude.
True. Because it also includes the Lowtown panes as well.
Yeah.
So I'm going to end up with more Lowtown panes than I'm going to have.
Because the Lowtown panes were short on the the same ratios in Lowtown.
Because I got dozens of Lowtown windows, but I don't anticipate getting quite as many Tudor windows. So that leaves me with either have an overabundance of Lowtown windows or I have an underabundance of Tudor windows. And in that choice, I erred on the side of being a bit more conservative.
But case in point, like people will say like, hey, I want 100 of this thing, and then you put it out there, and like nobody buys it. You're like, well, yeah. So what people say and what people actually buy is always, they don't necessarily, there's not a direct correlation.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to speak ill of the configuration that you provided, especially because it serves that purpose of, hey, I'm buying Tudor and I want Lowtown.
Well, and it's something that we can actually use in the web store.
Exactly. It's just that the fact that they're bundled together makes it a bit more of a more precarious investment for me personally, in my opinion.
That tracks. And that's also the challenge in general with people that have been along, like creating packs that are good for the web store people who have nothing, and creating packs that are good for people that already have a bunch of stuff and bigger things. It's hard to get those to both align. And that's why we're trying these sort of limited run packs, like just the corner posts, just the window walls in this campaign, to see if that can sate some of that desire from the people that already have a lot of stuff. But it's not something we can continue on in the web store.
Well, and that kind of segues into the a lot of people are very happy with the individual pieces.
That's been a
Offerings.
success. We
absolutely.
didn't know.
So when the offering is a bit more tailored to a very specific interest or purpose, it tends to be a bit more enticing. I mean, generally you lose out on the price point because you have to.
It's always going to be. It's always more
trade-off.
affordable to buy the pieces in a pack than it is like in the individual store. And the idea with the individual store is that's a chance to just be able to snipe in and get a couple of things you're really excited about. Or if you, I don't know, I want 1,000 tri-barrel plasma cannons. Like, okay, go in and just you can buy 30 in here, and we're not going to make a pack that has 30, but you can buy 30 in the individual store. What was the question? Did I miss the?
Are there plans to make it easier to get access to out-of-print or hard-to-find pieces in new set configurations that doesn't involve reforged campaigns? For example, like Skis, Rissa, Shamanic Circle, things like that. So it's sort of like an expansion of the individual pieces catalog.
No, we'll probably
No.
we probably won't put anything in there that's like unless we had some like lying around. We're probably not gonna do a print run of old chase pieces for the individual piece store. Stuff like the Caverns Deep. At some point, Caverns Reforged is probably going to be the next big.
That was another question.
It's
Caverns
probably gonna
Reforged,
be the
question
next.
mark.
It'll probably be the next big reforge we do after Cities Part 2. There's a bunch of pieces from Caverns Deep that are hard to find.
Sure.
There's some older pieces from the original Caverns that are hard to find. Like a couple that might be nice to remaster, like the narrow passage.
Yeah.
Stuff like there's some pieces like it could use the reforged treatment. Like
Sure.
There's definitely some packs and some pieces that could use some reconfiguring and get that other swell wall. Like we could make a few.
Sure.
There's some pieces we could do to flesh out that.
What about light panel compatibility with Crystal Caverns? Is that something that a Reforge could potentially support?
Well, so they're
'Cause
already
light panels have not received much integration.
post Hellscape.
Yeah.
Other side from Phantasm filters, right? We've been doing some 8x10,000 filters.
That's true.
Yeah, but we haven't made a whole ton of new translucent
Because
pieces.
the light
or whatever.
cut kind of almost
Yeah.
made them outmoded.
To some degree. So the interesting compatibility. This was a Toby thing we figured out early on. Was if you're going to do a Crystal Caverns build that only wants to be one color and needs to be lit for a really long period of time, what you can do is take off the bottoms of all your Crystal Caverns pieces and build rid of light panels.
Yeah.
So the build we have here at GenCon, there's that little Crystal Cavern thing underneath. That's built on a light panel, and the bottoms of all those crystals are just taken off. So that literally is just going to be on. It's nonstop the entire convention. Like we don't have to turn off. Like that is just plug in and on. We don't have to mess with it. Because changing the batteries, it's a layer cake thing. It's underneath thing. Like changing those batteries is murder in a convention. Like you can't get into a thing that's buried under a 12-story castle. Like
Yeah.
it's just sealed up there forever. But a really easy trick you can do is just pop the bottoms off all those pieces because they have the battery. They unscrews for all the batteries. So you pull that whole segment out, and then you just have the upper, which is all the clear, and you can drop that on light panel and it glows, and it's real.
Oh, that's
really
interesting.
neat.
It makes me think of the rechargeable batteries in the Reliquaries champion pieces.
Yep.
And there's a rechargeable battery in that
Starforge.
the data wall from Starforge.
Yeah.
So
How fun is that, right? I mean,
Yeah,
not to have to change batteries. It's like the best.
absolutely, because I always feel anxious because I'm a
Yeah.
stingy man, and like the idea of having to spend on these batteries consistently, the idea of a rechargeable thing is very attractive to me.
Yes. Well, it's also just so much easier just to plug it in and not have to unscrew the thing and
Definitely.
change your CR2032. Or then you open it and you realize it's a CR1220 instead of a 2032, and you're yeah. No, we hate the batteries.
Yeah.
The only downside is the rechargeable batteries are more expensive.
Yes.
And have a larger
Larger profile.
footprint. Yeah. So it bulks. There's certain things like the low town LED lampposts. Like you couldn't do those with a rechargeable in their current configuration. But we're looking for places that we can put those rechargeables because it's so much more convenient. It's really
To me, it's worth the added cost. As a consumer, I will spend those dollars happily.
Once upon a time, we were looking at doing the wireless power for everything. So you can get a copper wire coil the size of a CR2032, put it in your piece. If you have put the fence around, you can then put the electromagnetic field on them, or make one switch turns everything on. However, besides having to put the fence around your table, large metal sheets disrupt the field.
Yeah.
And turns out large metal sheets are
Kind of what you do.
everywhere. So we got that going for us. Yeah.
Well, no, so like with a terrain tray underneath interfere?
Ruins it, yeah. Yeah.
So
And
even if
so
it
you
wasn't
put
on, oh,
if you put a
wow.
terrain tray down, that just ruins the
So
field
that's
there.
just
Unless
no
you go
go.
about like 8 inches up or whatever. It's like, yeah.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
fascinating.
Yeah. But rechargeables, we're working on putting more of those in more places.
What about the levitating thing? Have you seen those? Where they have
Yeah, the cool like little floaty. I don't think we're going to pursue that anytime soon.
Okay.
Because it takes a lot of kind of junk you need to build around to get it
Sure.
to work. But it is a really cool effect. It's hard anytime we do anything that involves technology. It just opens up a can of worms. So we tend to focus on keeping it simple. LED, switch,
Sure.
rechargeable battery, get out, and a JST connector.
So I've long been like an advocate for Wildlands, like
Yep.
hardcore farm.
You
Like,
get the taste of Wildlands. here,
yeah,
right?
like so. Part of me is there's a little bit of trepidation there because I'm like,
This is what you asked for, now you don't want it?
well, no. It's more like if I get a taste now, does that mean I'm denied the banquet down the road? Because
Well, first of all, I'm going to interrupt the question. First of all, don't worry too much down the road. Like, who knows what the hell is down the road, right? It's just like a D&D adventure where you kind of have your plans as DM, but it quickly kind of goes awry and wherever you find a place where we don't know what the heck is down the road. And like right now, what you should worry about is like, what do we have right now that we are actually offering? Because who knows what's going to happen in the next 3 years? Like it's, we don't even 100% know, right? Like we were going to do cities big and then Perilous next fall, and now we split up cities and we're doing Perilous sooner, and then we were going to do Warehouse Dare, and then to put that ice and tariffs blew that up, and this like we don't know where, like don't know where exactly it's going to be. Don't get too hung on it. Like just look at what we have right now because that's what you know is
be
happening.
grateful for the citrus fruit and the flower boxes and the bushes,
The grass,
and,
the sculpted grass, the
grass.
dirt paths. I bet you're probably going to ask about dirt paths. We'll talk about those. Like wait,
Yeah.
you know a lot. There's a little mini biome here. Like savor it, enjoy it.
Absolutely. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You allayed my concerns. I'll
And here's
stop
what you can
thinking
do.
about it.
Here's what you can do if you're really concerned. Buy a lot of it. Get everybody else to buy a lot of it. So we go, oh man, I mean, why do you think there's more ivy in here? Right? Ivy was like shot off the shelves. Like people were buying ivy like they'd never seen green stuff. It was
great.
like, it's amazing. So
Yeah.
immediately the ivy expansion.
And that was the
it's
best
so
part
cool.
about it. It was immediate. Like,
Yeah.
here's my load town. Like, hey, would you like to buy some more ivy? Yes, I would.
Well,
and I
because
didn't have to
it-
wait. Like,
It sold like absolute hotcakes.
Yeah.
So so buy the heck out of Wildlands so we can make some money.
so, and I will use that as a segue into controversy on the lighter green banks.
Controversy.
There is so much fire online, very heated discussions about the lightness of the paint scheme
Yep.
and its lack of, it doesn't play well with wildlands banks, it doesn't play well with old forest banks or swamp banks. It
Yep.
is very exclusionary. And
Yes.
a lot of people are concerned about that.
And a good time for us to go to a convention right in the middle of it, like being like off the grid. All right, so the intention with the Tudor Village campaign was to flesh out the city's line, particularly more rural leaning areas, right? It was kind
Sure.
of it's like you could do a metropolis, right? We have these streets and alleys, we have sewers, we have like you could really do a big thriving metropolis, a water deep thing, a big stuff. But like doing the smaller villages that were kind of remote, we didn't have as much support for that.
Sure.
Right? So that was the big driver here. Was like, hey, can we kind of quaint things up, like do that sort of that Wildlands thing? And part of the goal was let's get some sculpted. We had sculpted dirt. We didn't have anything that was growing in greenery, so it's like let's get a little mini biome going, so we have some sculpted ground because we don't want to abandon sculpted ground people, right? As much as we love like terrain trays and battle boards and battle mats and quick ways to get out, but there's a lot of people who want sculpted ground because there's nothing like it. So we're like, well, we need to get something in there, and that's so.
Well, that's the
where
what,
the ground-
950,000 stretch goal.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there.
For sure.
The roads, well, the dirt paths. We'll talk about those in a second. So I'm just going to focus on the banks right now. So
Sure,
the
sure.
idea was, if we're going to make grass floors, what else is the bare minimum we need in order for this to be viable? And it was we need some sort of banks so we can transition these down. And so Wildlands already has a very, very, very robust collection of banks.
Sure.
The most robust
Sure.
collection of banks we have in any of our lines, right? There are multiple options for the convexes, for the concaves,
Oh, yeah.
for the straights, for the short straights. We have transitions. We have more.
My shelves are
Wildlands
great.
banks. But yeah, we have like mass systems. So we did not want to duplicate that system. We're like, let's make a system that makes sense for what we're trying to accomplish, which is sort of rural villages. So we went to a base 4 inches instead of base 6 inches because the buildings are on a base 4
I think
inches.
that was a smart call. I really do.
It was the call we made.
Well, I mean, so you have basically the 2x1, and you also have like a 1x1. So if you really want them to be to be the same
you can
length as the
4
long
inches and
banks.
2 inches gets you to 6.
Exactly.
You can still get to 6, but
Yeah.
if you were trying to work around buildings, you need to be on a base 4 inches, right? Because
Exactly.
everything, so 4 is the base of the building.
So
and when the buildings have 2x4s, you need to have 2 to get to that. So we had to be on a base. It was either base 2 or base 4.
So that's,
4 gives us
that makes
coverage.
perfect sense. No, literally nobody should have a problem with that.
So first option was like, okay, we're starting with base 4 inches. Then the second thought was, okay, we need to, they're working with the grass floors, so the sculpts need to be different, right? We're just doing very simple grass and simple dandelions. I can't remember what the other plant was, but a very simple palette of plants, very much more calm, mild, as it were. So the sculpts were different. The base footprint was different. We kept the profile the same, right? We thought it was important to keep the profile the same.
Definitely.
So they do line up. So there was an option, like, if you get unpainted and people, you can paint your own and do whatever. But the goal was not
isn't an
to
attractive
create.
option.
It wasn't. We didn't want to create an expansion to the already massive collection of banks. There, we wanted to make our own standalone collection of banks that were designed to work with the grass. And that's one of the reasons we did the bright leading edge, was to help it be a transitional. Like if you wanted to go from kind of the rough wildlands into something, it was like a cue that now we're in this sort of softer environment, and we weren't afraid to just make it its own thing. Like the whole goal was like, we're trying to make kind of a new mini biome. It doesn't want to be wildlands. It wants to be its own thing that works for these cities. So we made a bunch of design choices that were trying to support a new biome. And some people are disappointed that it doesn't. The paint and the sculpting don't match wildlands, because that was not their intention.
They're not
So-
supposed to.
Yeah, I mean, once again, the profile is the same, so that was an option. You can always paint it yourself. You can always mix and match. You can put them together. Like there's nobody. The peace police aren't going to come out and say, oh, you can't take, put that wildlands bank next to this thing or whatever. Like this stuff is fundamentally going to work.
You could put like a
together.
fence down and just be like, well, the grass is greener on the other side.
Some wild, as well as, Eli's logic for a lot of this too is like, you're going to have somewhere that's open and sunny is going to have very different plants than somewhere that is got all these a canopy overhead and a lot of leaves falling on it. And
So you can
everything.
throw some
So-
bushes over top
Yeah.
of that to hide that line on line.
Yeah, but,
That'd make more sense.
but right now, like in terms of the banks, the only real visual line, like there's two lines. The texture is different than it is from the wildlands, and that leading edge is different once again by design to try and help you kind of transition. The hope is that like anything you kind of put under there is going to pop with that bright leading edge
Definitely.
line. It's going to pop, and hopefully that can then drive the transition. And if you need, like, we have all the wildlands banks. There's this whole collection of wildlands banks. Like,
Well, what about second banks?
It is, yeah. No, we didn't think about 11Zs at all. And also, you can get the painted grass banks and do a couple, like, throw a wash on there, like Hamster did on his hobby hang. Like, if you want
Sure.
to sort of transition, there's a way to do that. But the intention was to build a new little biome that is going to do, trying to make another thing, give you some different notes to hit, because you can always hit notes. That being said, I can very, 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 very much understand the desire to take these 4x4 grass floors and use them in wildlands because they are flat, right? They have no holes in them. Well, they have hole accessory holes, but
Well,
they don't
accessory
have any,
holes,
they have no,
which, by
they
the
have
way,
no, yeah.
it's pretty amazing. Like the builds that
It'll
you
be
had
fun. It helps.
downstairs. Oh yeah.
But there's no teardrops, like I totally see the desire for like wanting to have some big open spots. I know we know this is a thing that we need to do in wildlands at some point, is get some floors. So I can definitely see people saying, oh my God, this is just the thing I need for wildlands, and wanting it to be this exact match. That wasn't what these pieces were designed for. I'm not saying you can't use them. You can absolutely use them. When we get back and we get the dirt paths sculpted, I'll do a build that integrates a bunch of the wildlands floors and banks with some of these. You can see how it works or it doesn't work. But once again, the intention was these were a new biome. They are a semi-biome, but trying to hit a different note.
Sure.
And some people are disappointed, understandably, that like you want some flat wildlands floors. I know, I get it, but also you can put these in your wildlands. It's not like I've done it. It's not weird. It's not bad. It's like It
You just have to be creative with transitions.
Or not. Like it's not radically different. Other than like suddenly all these wild plants then stop and you have like simple grasses and whatever. So maybe a couple of tufts and whatever. But we'll get we'll do a video or at least some photos to start and then a video where we show everything kind of how we go together.
Do you think there'll ever be like a Wildlands reforged?
Yeah, at some point we gotta do more Wildlands. So it'd probably just be a Wildlands 2, which Perilous is kind of Wildlands 2, so then it'll be like Wildlands 3 or Wildlands Swamp Forest Mountain
Untamed.
2 or whatever. Yeah, re-untamed. But like, wait, what was the thing I was going to say about the? It's I mean, you can put your dungeon pieces in your cavern, or like nobody's saying they're not compatible because they're like people do this all the time, and it's like a thing you can do. Like it doesn't just because some of the paint doesn't 100% match. Like there's no rules of like you can put the stuff where you.
Well, sometimes you can even make it better. Like you have like old KS caverns, new caverns.
Yes.
Then you throw Aranthor in there. Then you throw in like under the right light. I mean, you'd be surprised what lighting can do for your build.
Or it's just this zone is drier, or this zone is wetter, or whatever. Well, but it's supposed to be open-ended storytelling tools that you can use in a lot of ways. So hopefully people can find ways to work. And should we talk about the paths, or is that do you have a question about that? Because that's the other one.
Please, sculpted
dirt paths.
Dirt
So
paths.
these are not. We didn't call these roads for a reason. Because they're paths. And once again, the goal here was to expand out our sort of Wildlands biome, right? Our village, quaint village thing. The goal was not to make these awesome rugged roads deep in the wildlands. It was to make quaint paths in your garden, in your park, in your village, in between your houses. Whatever. That being said, I understand the desire to run these through your forest or whatever. Like people have been dying for sculpted roads to go through the woods, or whatever. Like
100%.
I get that. We're on board for that. We need to make that at some point, whatever. You will be able to do that with these pieces, right? They're not going to be from absolute outer space. They're not going to match. The grass is a slightly different color, right? There's 3 steps. The first 2 steps are identical to the wildland grass steps. The dry brush is a slightly different color. It's not wildly different. Like it's going to line up. There's the paths aren't really going to have a bunch of the hot, like the edges aren't going to have the hot highlights. So once they're even if they're sculpted now, like they don't even exist yet. Okay, so just give us a sec. So they are when we get some castings, we'll paint them up. We'll do a video. We'll run them through the thing. We'll show you what your options are, what it looks like. You're gonna be able to use them there. It's not their ideal use case. It's not exactly what they're designed for, right? They're fundamentally designed to build out your villages, your parks, your more sort of civilized area, that castle courtyard. That little path. Maybe there's this manicured path going up to the witch's cottage out in the woods. You got some woods out to the side, but it's fundamentally the goal was to once again support this small sort of mini biome and
how many pieces
have them work with
is
the
that
grass.
going to be?
9 pieces.
Really? Wow.
So the
And so you have your straight, you have your go right, you have your T-junction, your cross.
Yep. 2x4.
Okay.
Right, because you need. So once again, if you want to put them in with the wildlands, you need a 4-inch into a 2-inch into the curve. So you get around the 6, right?
So very similar to the Imperial Streets.
Yeah, very similar. The alleys are very similar to the alleys from the Imperial Streets.
So is there going to be like a wide half street that you need 2 to go side by side, and then the more narrow one?
The paths are designed to be the like 2-inch wide path on a 4-inch.
So they're all
wide.
basically like the
They're
narrow
all 4x4.
Imperial.
Yeah, they're like
Okay.
the alleys. San Francisco. It's amazing.
Yes. How do you
but
find?
the goal is like once again with the sculpting, these were designed to work with the rest of the grass lands, right? So that the sculpting is more subdued, the plants are simpler. It's like happy, clean grass, and like so. It's again like we don't want to make them not work with the rest of the grass because people want to put them in the wildlands. I get it. You want to put them in the wildlands, you can go do it, but like the goal is to sculpt them to be part of the grass family and have that be its own thing. And we'll get there, like, we hear the desire for us, and we get there. We get
Make
there.
everything.
We'll get first, but yeah. At some point, give us enough time.
So we have about 13, 12 days left in the campaign?
Something like that. Ends on the 14th of August.
When do you anticipate them unlocking? Like, if everything goes according to the plan about
The plan.
when would that unlock?
This implies there's a plan. I think they're gonna lock the beginning of the last week, somewhere around there.
Okay.
And then hopefully the next couple we got 2 more unlocks of that of these, and hopefully we can just jam through all those so that it's sort of hockey stick to the end. We'll get the full fledged, because it's a really fun system. It's really, we weren't sure how it was going to go, and it's very exciting to be able to kind of flesh it out and turn it. I mean, we were originally just going to do 3 pieces, and we turned it into a 9-piece system because the excitement is there, the desire is there, and we want to just once again to kind of complete this biome out and make it a viable, cool mini biome.
It's ambitious.
Well, we've got ambitious backers. A lot of stuff. Well, it's just gonna be so cool. Like you need, like it's really fun.
How does the Dwarven Forge cart, the one with 2 horses and the guy with a crossbow, how does the cart interact with that path?
Well, considering it doesn't exist, I don't know, but it should be. The wheelbase is just under 2 inches, so it should. I mean, it fits on the alley, so it should be on these.
Like, is it going to have wheel tracks on the path?
We're not.
Or is it going to be rounded?
We're not doing wheel ruts because once again, there's supposed to be paths. The intention here was not full thoroughfares, but it was paths, right? This was the path in your castle courtyard or between the houses in your village or whatever. It was less of a road and more of a path.
Because remember, some of the Imperial streets, they have a bit of a roundness to them.
Yeah.
That can be difficult when you're trying to place minis.
This is true. Now you have to wait for dirt roads and vehicle and things. The paths they're more depressed than they are lifted up. It's like trodden, heavily trodden. Yeah. Well, they've been walked all over there.
Material. Okay, I believe that concludes our present. So.
Cool. Well, thank you for all the thoughtful questions. These were
Present.
really
Still the future.
Oh no, okay.
Yeah,
buckle up. Act 3. Yeah.
All right. Hey, do you know what's great? Artifacts. Artifacts are great.
I thought you were going to say our wonderful badgers. The artifacts are great. At some point we'll make them.
Hightown guaranteed, promised, 100%.
I can't promise anything 100% ever, but we will make them at some point.
Okay.
Because
I just have to live long enough.
No, they're there. We understand the need. Yeah, we're just trying to find a place where it makes them fit, that makes sense. But yeah, it's on the radar. But keeping that drum. It's helpful.
Are reliquaries 2 any more likely now than they were a year or 2 ago?
No, Obi-Wan is joining Princess Leia. It's the best.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, reliquaries.
Yeah, reliquaries 2. Are they any more likely now than they were a year or 2 or 3 ago?
No, I don't think so. I think we're
understandable.
Well, the problem is everybody just wants us to make terrain, right? That was like.
Get back in your box.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was fine. There's so much to explore in this box. I mean, if you had to choose between modular ships and reliquaries, you'd probably choose modular ships.
That'd be difficult.
Oh yeah, well,
hard choice.
I guess we'll have to kill modular ships. Fine. No,
Sorry, guys.
there's so much that we need to do, and there's a very strong demand for terrain for the types of terrain we make, and there seems to be not as strong a demand for reliquaries. Although, interestingly, going to a lot of cons, I see more and more cool little dice holdery things that are popping up over the years.
Definitely.
So, little by little, it's catching on. We're ahead of our time.
So you did say the magic word, which is modular ships.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
And water tiles.
Okay.
So the pirate expansion.
Has
to happen.
So the...
is it on the official time event horizon yet?
0.
Not yet.
No.
Not yet.
No. So modular ships, I don't think are ever going to happen.
How dare you break our hearts like this?
Well, I don't know. We'll see. There are a lot of things we need to do that are probably before it. In that, it's very difficult to modularize, to make boats that look good and are highly modular and are castable and are maybe somewhat affordable it's tricky. And Eli's done some interesting exploratory geometry, whatever, and it is in order to actually like go look at a boat and think about chopping that up into 2 pieces that make sense, and then try and take a small boat and chop that up in pieces and see how much overlaps and the hull curves and the whatever, and then chop up a canoe and then a barge and then a thing, and like look at all where the
Funny, you did a great job with your
commonalities are.
bayou barge and the rowboat. So
Yes, but they're not really modular. I mean, they are modular, right? You can break the pieces apart, but they're like, if we were going to do truly modular boats, you want to have the ability to have different widths and different heights and different lengths.
Sure.
You know, like you want to be able to make anything from this cool like smuggler's skiff all the way to like a big warship to anything in between, like a merchant thing. Like you want to give people you want to give them the toolbox to make enough different things that you'd be able to get them out of the table a whole bunch, and then you need the conversion kits to make them airships, and then like there's
absolutely.
it's a whole thing. It's really tricky, and it's
High-hanging
just
fruit.
it's very high hanging fruit. Like it is a lot of skating uphill. So we'll see where we get. But
would you ever consider casting in a different kind of plastic, similar to what you did with the castle walls?
maybe the people in general don't like the feel
No.
of ABS.
Not at all.
It just doesn't. It's not. It doesn't feel right, and there is a lot of kind of hard to quantify things that give the essence of a Dwarven Forge piece.
Sure.
And one of them is the feeling, which is, once again, a little hard to describe, a little hard to quantify, but there's a feel this stuff has. It's a really important.
And the
that it
smell
has
too,
that.
which was something that Starforge, I think, had an issue with. It's the aroma profile of the Dwarven Forge. Was
It was a
not
whole
pleasant.
new. Well, that's the
Yeah.
future. That's the sci-fi. It's a whole different, right? We went from the ground up.
The future doesn't
everything
smell
from,
good.
everything from the geometry, the thickness, the rare to the scent itself. It was like whole new. We had to transport you into a fully immersive future.
Oh.
That's the Soylent Green breaking down. For the second half of the question, for water tiles.
Yes. I mean, with Perilous Frontiers, I mean, what is snow and sand except for chunky water?
So let's just say that Confucius said that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So water tiles as they existed in caverns, which, funny enough, was the first set I ever designed. I
Are you
don't
talking about like the waterfall?
No, the water tiles, like the straight.
Oh,
curve,
yeah,
right,
yeah,
the
yeah.
basic- what's the other thing was water tiles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you had like the lava tiles that were kind of shiny, and then you had the cavern tiles, which
Yeah, it was the same sculpt, different paints.
yeah,
So
I love them. I use them a
yeah,
lot.
they're easy to
And
use.
because they
they're
were
nice.
an evolution of the older, like the large
water-
resin.
They were a
water tiles.
de-evolution, really, because we
Shark
couldn't do the two-part pour. Like the reason those resin ones are amazing is because they had the sculpted bottom, and then they had so those were cast, and then they had a resin pour on top of the clear water, so you can see it. It's like those things are magical.
They're gorgeous.
Um,
If you can find them, good luck.
So the problem with water tiles, so executionally, that first set of water tiles is very poor, in that the water has zero texture, the paint job is insane, and the sculpting is too regular. Like the lines are all too straight. It's supposed to be organic or whatever. So
I agree.
they need if we were going to do that, they need a basically a ground up resculpt, which is one of the reasons we never took them. There's two challenges. One is negative space gives more versatility for water building than the water tiles did, because you can have a huge variety of liquids under there. You can put anything, or solids, even, right?
Yeah.
You can use those
Absolutely.
same Banks pieces. Like Banks pieces have so much more versatility than the water tiles pieces, and particularly in what you have underneath them, or elevation and whatever. Like just use them all over the place. So we lean very heavily on Banks and negative space because of the versatility, because it opens up just so many more building opportunities. So that, in conjunction with the fact that the water tiles need to be completely re-sculpted, redesigned, means it's probably never going to happen. That
High hanging fruit, right underneath the modular ship.
it's not even high hanging. Like we would do modular ships before we do more of those water tiles.
Interesting.
But that being said, there is sculpted water, like particularly moving sculpted water is amazing and it's magical, right? So anybody that has the waterfall or the transition, the water tiles to negative space transition piece, whatever. Like one of the things Eli loves is doing those fluid dynamics, right? That stuff like just turbulent water is so good. So there is certainly a possibility of doing like
Water accents.
like streams or something, like something that was sculpted water, like 4x4 sculpted stream tiles or something similar to like these dirt paths, but streams,
Okay.
but with depth and water, dynamic water and whatever. Because it is faster. Like water tiles are faster or a little easier to build with that negative space often, depending on what you're doing, whatever. So it's already easier for people to understand. So like, there's definitely a place where we could, or like the lava, right? The sculpted lava from Hellscape, which is the fun, right? The texture
Some
of the
people
thing,
will
like,
paint
it's
the
just-
lava tiles in
It's-
flowing water.
It's awesome. Or goo and whatever.
It's not perfect just due to
No,
the
but it's-
viscosity of the fluid,
Yeah.
but it's
It is cool.
Yeah.
So there's definitely a potential future where we do some of that stuff, but I don't think
so
we'll ever.
streams when.
I don't know. They'd be good in the
Okay.
wildlands, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So buy all the grass so we can get there.
Buy more grass.
Yeah. But anyway, so that's sort of why water tiles are where they are. But I don't know. There's who knows what exactly the future will hold.
Castles reforged when.
It's a hard one. I love castles.
Next year.
And yeah, they need a lot of work. Like there's in every turn it requires work, from the compositions to some of the pieces to additional pieces required to there's so much required. Like it's a really big project. And it's
You almost
something
need a whole new biome, just like throwing everything out and just coming up with something new.
Except a lot of people have a lot of castles,
Very
right?
true.
And we don't want to just throw it out and invalidate, or you want to expand it. It's like, I think we've done a great job with Cities Reforged
100%.
in that we're supporting anybody that already has, went in for an Empire Pledge, whatever. Like, we're not invalidating your Empire Pledge. We literally have just the new tutor, so you can just swoop in and get the
I think
new
I
tutor,
think
get
I
some new
had
corner
two of
posts.
those in my pledge.
It's
They're-
for you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's for like anybody that already has a bunch of stuff. It's like, oh, perfect. I can get this, get a couple of this, maybe get the Oreo windows, get boom, and get out. And we made the corner post packs to support people that already had that, just need a few extra corner posts that have the facade holes and whatnot. So it was really important to be able to support the people that already have stuff and give them stuff while the people are brand new and come in, whatever. So castles are similar. Like, you got to support the people that already have all that stuff. Like, you can't invalidate it. You got to support it and prop it up. But it's just like, it requires a lot of work. It's just a big. It is daunting. It is a very thorny fruit to reach for. It's not hanging too high, but it's quite thorny.
That's a good analogy.
No. So we'll go to caverns before we go to castles, I think. But it's there because nothing. Honestly, one of the coolest, like the verticality of castles is just unparalleled. Like, it just looks so cool. You have a big giant tower, and like, castles are awesome. Like, it's a big one.
Backdrops when. So I know previously you said you're not interested in getting into the backdrop business, but we're gonna keep asking you until you change your mind.
Perilous winters.
Oh, excellent,
Beans drops.
glorious.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we made it. We did it.
We did it. Yeah. No, you're not wrong. And the reason often a lot of things slide is it takes so much time to do. It takes so much time to make the things we make. Like, doing anything that's kind of beyond that, it tends to fall off. But it's already cooking. So we will see what happens and buy them so that we can make more.
Yeah. No,
That's really, like, in general.
I'll buy
with
one.
this stuff, like, you have to buy the stuff if you want us to make more. It's a simple equation.
Interesting one. Fieldstone window inserts. So for those of us who are buying 20 window inserts, we can put them in our rustic walls. We can put them in our Tudor walls.
Are you talking the window panes or the physical, like the shutters?
The ones that have so the slot in the top so you can slide
The window
in.
panes. The
Yeah, window panes.
Okay.
For field stuff.
So,
I mean, we're kind of running out of cities to reforge.
I wanted to remaster the windows when we were doing Lowtown, but I don't know if you remember, Lowtown was the biggest thing we've ever done and the biggest thing we will ever do.
Understandable.
It was too big, so it didn't happen there. But at some point we got to just cut some windows.
What about just like a store release? Just
Maybe.
a
Yeah.
Fieldstone window wall pack store release.
Yeah, it's not crazy.
Oh, because you have what is it? You have the window walls in Tudor that you have a pack that is
Yep.
just exclusive. Like, I love that pack. That is an amazing pack.
That was
I wanna,
backer
like,
requests. That was people sort of pointing out.
Deliver a hug to the person who came to that idea. It's great.
It was you guys. It was backer requests. It was very. I mean, lots of requests come in. Many of them are very sound. That one was particularly strong. There's a good logic to, like, you can't get them, and if it wasn't in just the new tutor, so like it was a great addition to that.
Great.
So at some point we gotta cut some slots in those. It just means new molds. It's more things. Yeah.
Dwarven Forge Graveyard and Mason Walls in Hightown.
Mason walls,
So like stone walls.
like the Ashlar.
Something similar.
I don't know what form Hightown's going to take when we get there.
Because I think we're still stuck with Wraith's Kids when it comes to graveyard and fencing.
Yep.
So
Most likely, we would carve out like sort of the cathedral and have that
Definitely.
be a thing.
That'd be amazing.
And
But I could also see it being really easy to cut when you lower the piece count.
yeah.
So
But
that's the concern.
What tends to be next to your cathedral, your temple, your church, your holy space? Graveyard.
100%.
So yeah, there's we'll see.
Confirmed.
how it goes. Yeah.
Let's see. Will you ever produce 24 by 24 mats for your non-water terrain traits? So, for example, the roll-up mats, like we have the giant swamp and the giant water. Would you think about that for some of your more like solid state boards, like grass or cobble or?
That's a good question. Currently, so we love the texture mats, the 24, and you got to see the Dungeons Reforged ones are awesome. I'm so excited.
I ordered
there.
all of them, so.
You'll be very happy. They're really nice. We really like both the affordability, the speed, and the style. Like the texture mats just look good, right? The texture on the thing, like really,
Definitely.
it adds lots to the table. The
Well, now you have the tube technology too.
We've discovered cardboard tubes. It's like of the right size. It's really the innovations. They don't stop. The challenge for sort of non-liquid mats is we need a texture that works for them. So we could do neoprene battle mats. To like 24 by 24 or 36 by 36 neoprene battle mats. The downside is there's a ton of other companies already doing that, and
Sure.
there's a I don't know, a 3 millimeter thickness or something to them, so they're not as conducive to building. Like you can't, like you throw down a texture mat and it's a negligible amount of verticality.
Sure.
So it's really easy to sort of build in and around whatever. You throw down neoprene and it's got some thickness and it starts messing up some of your. It's a little harder to integrate that into builds the way you do with a tray tray or a texture mat, whatever. So, and it needs to it needs to feel like a finished and premium product. So it's hard to find, like it needs to either be in like a neoprene, or if we find something thinner, it's hard. We have to find something that isn't glossy. If it has a texture, it needs to have like an appropriate texture, and it needs to feel high quality enough that it looks good and feels good, whatever. So we'll see. It's something we're exploring. But I know. Do you think there's an interest in like the neoprene style battle mats with art that's like similar to the train trays and kind of matches with the rest of the stuff we're doing?
If you built it, I would buy it.
Okay.
I couldn't speculate as to the broader appeal. It's like you mentioned, like this is not, you're not blazing any trails here. This is a
No.
well-established market.
Yeah.
But the fact that, you know, as long as it's from Dwarven Forge, yes, I would buy it. So,
But we would love to find more.
I would love to find more texture options.
That we could do, like, I don't know, being able to, there's the texture mats, having a little bit of three-dimensionality, a little bit of texture just makes all the difference. So we were dreaming of cobblestone texture mats, and we couldn't make it happen. We were exploring a bunch of stuff for Lowtown. Couldn't make it. I wanted a 24 by 24 textured cobblestone thing. So, you
yeah,
could roll out.
that would be great.
Yeah, it's not. It was not. It would be not currently feasible with what we found.
What new alt paint schemes like Sinister can we expect from VF in the future, and what sets will be the target?
Sand and snow, perilous.
So some of the older sculpts.
Oh,
the-
we actually have some plans to do a few do some
Okay.
repaints of some. There's some stuff in the older wilderness, like the wilderness collection as a whole. There's some stuff that could translate well to Arctic or arid wastelands.
Yeah, repaints are kind of a double-edged sword because on one hand they're cool and I would buy them and I want them. On the other hand, if done too frequently,
Yep.
then you start to miss out on new sculpts and new innovations, and you're walking sideways. You're not moving
Well,
forward.
also, it's harder for us to stock. Like, one of the challenges with caverns, we've got 4 different colors of caverns, and so that's 4
Yes.
times as many sets to A, create, and B, keep in stock. It's like, you know, so that is one of the downsides is the more different paintings you have, then the more different sets you need to have support to keep everybody going.
And it can be
Yeah.
fatiguing, especially if you're on
Yeah.
a budget.
Yeah. But we really like being able to breathe some new life into an older sculpt with it's like it's really, or an older biome or whatever.
So we had another request for additional collector's pieces like the Moonlight Arch. We love the Moonlight Arch. We love the Hell Gate. We love the.
I mean, those were
the Portal to Worlds.
Threshold of Worlds. The
Threshold. Yeah.
those were designed to be a victory lap for
We want
the
this.
sculptors, right? It was like, wow, we did so well. Make whatever you want. Like, it was, don't worry about it being high multiples. Don't worry about it being castable because it was resin. It's like those molds or the silver molds are so much more forgiving. The downside are resin prices have gone up a bunch. Like, it's not as cheap to make resin used to be, so they're going to be very pricey. And it's doing limited edition. I mean, I guess it doesn't have to be limited edition, but doing limited edition things always kind of bites us in the ass a little bit because people miss it and then they want it years later, or it's just sort of like I don't know, I hate like leaving people out of the cool thing that they missed. So I don't know if we're gonna. It feels like. Yeah, I don't know what the answer is other than it is neat to be able to do those really cool art pieces that have a lot less constraints, and I don't know when we'll do it again. But yeah, it's and I know the team really enjoys getting to create that stuff where you just really free
love it. I love getting it.
But we will see.
Okay.
It's it's funny enough. It's kind of the thing that would be really good as an STL, except that yes and no, right? Yes, it lets you make
Just yes.
Like doing a Moonlit Arch type thing as an STL makes a lot of sense. The downside being like that's supposed to be a really premium. Like those were even more controlled than some of the like it was the prisms on the it was like.
Well, I mean,
it's a
also
thing, like,
for larger terrain, you generally want to print FDM because in resin it's a lot more fragile, it's a lot more heavy, and it's a lot more expensive. So you'll end up with an even lower quality print through an FDM printer than you could with a resin. So I will reluctantly.
It doesn't feel like
admit
you're not necessarily people aren't going to get. You want that to feel special when you get that thing. You get the the Dread portal, or wait, that was the one from
Hellscape?
Hellscape was Dread portal, I think, right?
There's two of them, right? There was a gate and a portal.
Well, there was a reprint of the original Hellscape Gate. There was the Hell Gate we did in Dwarven Night, then there's a reprint of the Hellscape Gate, which we put an LED in, and then there was the Dread portal
Yeah.
that Eli did. But anyway, you
Gorgeous
want
stuff.
that. You want that thing to feel kind of magical when you get in hand. And like, if it's just an STL, I don't know. I mean, someone may never even print it, right? Much less they may print it in a crummy FDM thing or whatever. It's just, I don't know. We want it to be like a real big stuff. So I don't know. It's a good question, but we will see. Here's the answer to that is make Perilous go through the roof.
Okay.
So that we
Okay.
have, like, we've got the
2 million stretch goal.
3.
Oh, how did Wildlands do again?
4.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and that was, that's the thing. So, like, if we can, and we didn't, those did not exist before the campaign, and it was something. Oh my God, we're doing
It was so good.
so well. Like, let's do an awesome thing. Like, do it if we want. But it was a grind. Like, that was, Nina didn't do it. She was too fried. She was like so burnt out. From this. She's like, I just don't even. She's like, I just had nothing left. She's like,
Nothing left.
I'd rather sleep. Like, she's like, I just can't. It's just pushing really hard. So make Perilous go through the roof, and maybe we can do something fun big for that.
Great. Cattails. Cattails?
Woo.
Cattails.
STL.
It could work.
Yeah.
I think there's something about Dwarvenite though.
No, I know.
Because a cattail out of resin printer would be the most fragile thing you can imagine. Like it could work, but they wouldn't be durable at all. So I think part of the appeal and the allure of cattail is the fact that it would be plastic and somewhat more survivable.
So what I'm hearing is we shouldn't do STLs. Is what I'm hearing.
For the cattail, well, maybe that would be a nice test case.
Yeah.
Like you send it out and just be like,
See
all right,
what happens.
community, give us some feedback. How are you feeling about this?
Yeah, man, I could use those cattails. A lot of times they're like, yeah, just think I'll get some cattails.
And IME also needs a catacomb entrance.
Ooh.
Because the underground campaign, that's kind of been the carrot. Just
Yeah.
dangling. It just keeps
Yeah.
getting pushed back and preempted by greater priorities.
No, at some point we're going
We need to go underground. 'Cause there was a point where that was the next thing.
Yeah. Yeah, it was until it wasn't.
Until it wasn't.
Michelle had some really good concepts for catacombs that she put out when we were looking at next sort of big projects to do after Glowtown. That she pitched out a thing that was really cool. We'll get to it at some point probably in the nearish future.
Do you have any of the
Catacombs.
sculpts built yet for any of the burrows or catacombs or sewers?
No.
Okay, so we're not that far along.
There's some concepts in sewers. Toby's done some really cool concept work on sewers. I had from when we originally did burrows, it was twice as many pieces in the set, and I cut out all the 45-degree pieces because they're confused to con. And so we have all the original concept on those, and nothing on, like there's a bunch of geometry mapped out, but nothing on catacombs has actually been done. I don't know when we'll get there, but at some point we're gonna do it. It's gonna be ridiculous.
I believe it.
Yeah, no, it'll be beautiful when
Well,
we get there.
that concludes the feature. Bonus round, special bonus
Ooh,
round
right,
is
yeah.
going to be Nate Taylor edition. So
Addition.
this is
You're pretending to be me? Oh,
no,
edition. Okay.
Like
right.
these all.
I thought you were going to audition for the role of Nate Taylor.
Personal
Yeah.
questions. Welcome to Dwarven Forge.
You have to
Is
wave-
the new.
You have to wave your hands around a lot. That's the other.
Oh, did they? Well, they put
I
the
like-
graphic up there, so I
I
don't
know, but I wave my hands around a lot. It's
Need a plastic
that
knife.
Yeah.
All right, bonus round. You ready?
Okay.
What is your hair care routine?
I have a thing called a skull shaver, which is
Okay.
and it just like rips down the sides. And so I do that. I do that my own maintenance like a few times a week. My wife cleans up the lines in the tub like once every like 6 weeks or something. And then I use what is it called? I can't remember. My wife is a beauty professional, so she gets me it's a light texturing paste. So you just
Okay.
put a little of this and and go, and you're done for the day.
Okay.
That's it.
Great.
And it's very easy. Here's my thing. I don't want to make any decisions before I get to work. That's my goal. I wear the same uniform, same routine. Like I try and just everything is sort of a routine
Compartmentalized.
that I don't have to think about. Boom, 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 boom. So then I can save all that computing power for these really challenging, creative decisions that have no right or wrong answer, right? Where you're just trying to split hairs and do this sort of dodging through this sort of sea of possibilities where I want to be like laser focused on that. Everything else is just sort of like, can we just jam through all that other stuff so you don't have to like, I don't want to choose different colors for clothes, I don't want to do that, I want to just go.
Would you ever consider a new hairstyle era? Like you've had the mohawk for how long?
When did Nine Inch Nails with Teeth come out? That's when I shaved the mohawk. So that was 2011 maybe?
Oh wow.
Something. I had long hair forever, and then
That would be.
I got
post pictures next on Amble.
Yeah, I had long hair forever, and then I shaved it all down to completely bald headed, and people thought I was a skinhead.
I could see that.
The boots and the thing and the German ancestry and whatever.
Yeah.
So I grew the mohawk out
Good
to
call.
be more accessible.
Okay.
I was like,
Oh, definitely.
take
Good
the
call.
edge off. Yeah.
Is that something you ever anticipate changing, or do you feel like Nick Taylor, the Dwarven Forge character, requires?
It's just it's what I got right now. We'll see where it goes. It's whatever it is. I don't want. It's got to be something a little counterculture. I don't want to. I just want to swim against the current a little bit. Like
Feel like 1950s duck sass, like Grease style.
could be.
Anyway,
Try it. Yeah.
what is your favorite fiddly bit and why? Which
Oh.
fiddly bit would you like to rework? So it's a two-part question.
That is hard.
So like small little.
You know what I use? Oh, and I know what fiddly bits are. Don't worry.
Okay.
Decor-wise, the little sitting gargoyle from originally from Castles. Like I use that guy all the time. He like just shows up. He's like the perfect size, just adorable little guy. That's kind of why in Hellscape there was the bronze one, with the taller wings, and like just always chasing that guy. What one would I rework? I don't know. I wish we'd done the wooden pole accessory base that we use under the arbalist from Castle. I wish the legs were wider on that.
I agree.
Because you want to put a flag in and put anything tall in it, it gets tippy.
And honestly, having a number of different options for bases
Yeah.
would be valuable, I would think.
Yeah. Well, have you seen those new stone plinths in
Yes.
villages?
Yes.
Gold.
Okay.
Pure gold. Yeah, I don't know what other fit. The problem is I love all the pieces. Like I try to use it.
I think the
like,
arbalist base, that is a genius level answer to that question.
Yep.
Yeah, having it be slightly wider would make things tip over a lot.
Yes. It works great for the arbalist, and you go beyond that, it's like it just starts getting.
So if there were a set terrain or biome that's been previously ruled out due to profitability reasons, if you could discount profitability, what biome would no longer be disqualified you would be interested in pursuing?
I want to do giant, chunky wargame pieces.
Okay.
Like,
For example.
Everything is like Titan's Tooth is a small piece.
Okay, I see what you're saying there.
Well, big chunky pieces of like so you can quickly build a cool AOS battlefield with just awesome 8 awesome pieces of terrain, bam, slam down on the table. Big chonkers, huge, big silhouettes.
What would you say?
Like crazy, epic, impressive.
What are a couple of examples of something you would want to see big?
Something like the original mock-up I did for the Oblivion Nexus, which
Oh, yeah, that thing was
was
impressive.
like 12 inches in diameter. That with like an integrated stairway to violence that culminates in like a crazy LED like iosaur, like that.
It's like a $1,200 piece, right?
Yeah,
there.
you said there's no price, right? That's why I want to just slam that. Boom.
Excellent
Down, ready to
answer.
go.
Excellent
Yeah.
answer. If you had to pick one piece in the whole DF collection to build a story around, what would that piece be? And what would the story be? Last question.
Oh man.
That's a good one.
Oh man.
Put you on the
Well,
spot.
they're really a really easy this is kind of like a cheating one, but
Okay.
and maybe it's on my mind because I'm just playing with the booth, but the Bayou Barge is a really easy, like, you would start in the world of water tides. This Bayou Barge. And you would sail on and you would get lost and you'd have to try and find your way back to water tiles. And there'd be sort of this ragtag band of mercenaries you would have. You'd probably have, there would be miniatures from various things. So there'd be a rat folk, like the first mate would be one of the rat folk, and there'd be like a lizard folk with one leg, and there would be like a pirate guy with a mug of ale, and there'd be maybe it's Skisrice's, like Skisrice's daughter is the lizard folk, right? She's all like that. She's the whatever wharf, like the security guy on the barge, and you would have what were the other ones? You'd have one of the retired town guard. Remember that, the town guard guy that's going like this, or you have like the cooler version of that guy that like runs the harpoon gun. She's like screaming and his hands are out like this. You put him behind the harpoon gun. So you'd have this like ragtag bunch of mercy. Oh, and we would have to use the Dragonborn from the Lowtown townsfolk, right? So she would be like the spy, or whatever. Maybe she's the captain. She's an enigmatic captain,
Sure.
right? So this kind of ragtag bunch of mercenaries on the Bayou Barge. They get lost from Water Tile Land. They're like, we really want to go back. Like, there's this damn nostalgia for Water Tile Land. They're lost. They got to get back there, and they have to navigate through. Maybe it's like an astral skiff where they kind of they're plane hopping through things. They've got to explore all the negative space of Dwarven Forge, working their way through, right from
That's a lot.
hellscape through to like
That's
the
a lot.
underdoom and sludge, and they're just continuously journeying through negative space on the Bayou Barge to try and find their way back to Water Tile. It's kind of like the D&D Kids cartoon, right, where they're just trying to get back to like. But here's the kicker is they can never get back to Water Tile-topia. Like Water Tile Land, it's been burned and
It's
destroyed.
like the Quantum Leap
and nothing,
finale.
Yeah,
They never get home. Don't
home.
worry about
No,
it.
they never get home. They just keep sailing around in the Bayou Barge. That would be my story.
Okay, great. Well,
Yeah,
thank
it'll
you
be
so much
fun.
for your time. It's always been a pleasure.
Well, I really appreciate it. Thank you to everybody who submitted the questions. Thanks for curating down a really good list, a good logical arc, and thanks for all the support. I can't wait for next year. We'll see. We got to bring back. What was the question we said we asked next year? Castles. Really. One of them you said you have to ask again next year.
Yeah. Oh, geez, my memory's gone. I'll have to
Mine too.
Hey, thanks a lot for a back Cities for Forge tutor. You get plenty of grass banks. And, yeah, I think that's the woo.